Hey everybody, welcome to WagerTalk TV. I'm Scott Spreitzer, and with us today is Matt Holt. He's been with us before. He is the Vice President of Business Development at CG Technologies. Nice enough to join us again. And Matt, we're talking a little bit of college football bowl action. We've got a really good one here. Baylor taking on North Carolina as we speak. The Baylor Bears about a 2.5-point favorite, total right around 70.5. But, you know, it's funny, last week, Brian Leonard and I sat down and we did a how to cap the bowls, both the meaningless bowls, so to speak, and those that have a lot of meaning to them. And this one covers about every angle you could imagine when it comes to how to handicap a bowl game, including motivation. Both of these teams, there's an argument to be made, could be less than excited to be playing in this December 29th matchup.
Yeah, historically, teams that had national championship aspirations tend to not perform up to par in these bowl games. You know, kind of the Cinderella left the ball theory. But I like the North Carolina angle here. I think they have a lot of things going for them, probably a lot more than Baylor in this situation. And one of the things you look for in motivation is senior players who are going to be leaving the program that are stars. And North Carolina has that, including star quarterback Marquise Williams, who this is his last showcase to maybe get a spot in the NFL.
Sure. You know, Chris Johnson's going to get the start, it looks like, for Baylor. And you're talking about now down to their third-string quarterback. He started against the Texas Longhorns, suffered that concussion, you know, rather early in the game. They lose that game 23-17 to the Longhorns. How much did this affect the value, the line, so to speak, compared to what Stidham might have been, what Baylor might have been with him at quarterback for you guys over at CGT?
Yeah, this is probably one of the biggest drop-offs from player to player in all of college football. When we look at Stidham, he was the number one ranked quarterback in the Big 12 with at least 100 attempts. And people don't realize that. So when you went to Russell, who was amazing, down to Stidham, there was probably a slight drop-off. But Stidham performed so admirably that the Baylor offense didn't miss a step. Now all of a sudden you go down to Johnson, who has a 39% completion percentage, 3-2 touchdown to interception ratio, and whose quarterback rating is not even comparable, and who really can't throw the ball. And this Baylor offense almost instantly becomes one-dimensional. And people automatically make the assumption that, oh, Johnson's a better runner than everyone, but his offensive efficiency numbers as a runner haven't been good either. Look, North Carolina knows all they could do is run the football. It's been a massive drop-off from Stidham to Johnson here from a point spread perspective.
Yeah, this guy came along as a quarterback to Waco. They switched him to wide receiver, so he doesn't get hardly any time at all at the quarterback position, and then they have to move him back because of the injuries that we just mentioned. And I know they were taking a lot of credit for that win where the Texas Longhorns, but, you know, all of a sudden when you're down to nothing at quarterback but a receiver, as even Chris Johnson, as I mentioned, suffered the concussion early in that game, it's a different story. Let me ask you, let's say everybody's healthy for Baylor. Let's say they are 9-3. They're off a disappointing second half of the season when they expected themselves to be in the Final Four, in the playoffs. Do you drop the value on a team, line value on a team, or power rating wise behind the counter when it comes to a team playing in a lesser bowl than what they were in the second half of the regular season? Is there any adjustment made even if they're healthy?
Well, this is where kind of really being an expert in following the teams comes into play, and knowing some of these coaches and the programs and their culture that surrounds it. Art Briles has a history of letdowns in bowls in this spot. We remember when they played Central Florida after they had national championship aspirations, and they lost that game outright. Blew a big game last year, a big lead last year against Michigan State. Right. So Art Briles has a history of not getting to the championship game and then not finishing out games in this spot.
I look back at that North Carolina-Clemson game, and, you know, North Carolina would have still had to put together a touchdown scoring drive, but obviously they got their chance ripped out from under them to tie the game up against Clemson late in the contest by some questionable officiating, to put it nicely. This team, to me, though, when I'm handicapping this game, it seems like to me they would have an easier time getting over that than what Baylor has to get over heading into this game. So let's make it official. It is your play, the battle between Baylor and North Carolina. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I love North Carolina in this spot for so many reasons, including the showcase spot for Marquise Williams, the senior about to leave North Carolina, as well as the fact that they showed a lot of fight in that Clemson game. They were dead for rights with almost zero chance to win that ACC championship games, and a lot of teams would have packed it up and gone home, and they fought right to the last second. I'm with you. Look, a really bad call. I don't know how it didn't get overturned on replay. Obviously not offsides on the onside kick. They could have had a shot to win that game, but the thing is they fought to the very end. They showed a lot of heart. Marquise Williams and that offense, who have been dynamic all year long. I mean, people forget not just his passing, but he ran for over 850 yards and 11 scores on the ground. I look for this team to have a lot of success, and I'm not sure that Baylor offense ever gets going without the threat of the passing game.
He's Matt Holt. He's taking the North Carolina Tar Heels plus the points over Baylor. That is the December 29th, the Russell Athletic Bowl. Don't forget to check out our other video that we're doing with Matt, which happens to be our Final Four playoff college football bowl preview. That's also here at WagerTalk.com. And also, for this next weekend, you can get $10 off any package simply by using the coupon code CGT10. CGT10 gets you $10 off any package this weekend right here at WagerTalk.com. More to come. Stick around. He's Matt. I'm Scott.